Hey guys, I'm so glad that you are here today to learn with us about our community and how we can celebrate this weekend, Memorial Day. First, we're going to talk about some of our state symbols, and since our Girl Scout Council covers 3 states, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, we're going to learn about all 3. We're going to do an activity involving some of our different state symbols tonight. Let's start with Tennessee. Tennessee's state tree is the tulip tree, or the tulip poplar. We're going to hear from a dear friend, Monkey, and she is going to teach us some fun ways to recognize a tulip poplar when we are outdoors.
So we have a really interesting tree right here. If you look at its leaf, sometimes I ask people what it reminds them of, what this shape makes them think of, and sometimes people say the most common thing that people say is it looks like a cat face. Like it has ears up at the top and like kind of whiskery looking things. And so this tree is the state tree of Tennessee, and in the eastern United States, a lot of the tallest trees are this kind of tree, which is a tulip poplar. And it's interesting and easy to remember its name because I think this looks like a little bit like a tulip, like a flower. And it has a flower that looks a lot like a tulip as well. And a neat thing that you can do with tulip poplar, I think I got the leaf that came off somewhere. Yeah, you can do a cool thing with a tulip poplar leaf. And you can fold it and make a little basket, which is neat. And you could like put little berries or something in here. Make a little basket. And the tulip poplar, the Native Americans all over the eastern United States used to make cordage out of tulip poplar, and cordage is just a fancy way to talk about rope, homemade rope. So the interior bark of the tulip poplar tree comes off in these long strips, and there's a certain method that you can use to make it into rope. And I made some rope out of tulip poplar. So this is some of the rope I made out of the tulip poplar bark. It's pretty strong, good stuff.
Monkey, you are such a wealth of knowledge. And how cool was that when she made a basket out of a tulip poplar leaf and even made a rope from its bark? Monkey, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate everything you taught us. Now let's do a craft that represents Mississippi. The Mississippi state flower and tree is a magnolia. Isn't that beautiful? Today we're going to make a magnolia flower, and here is what you're going to need to do that. You're going to need white paint. You're going to need an egg carton, kind of like this, or you can use one that you may have at home already. You're also going to need some buttons. I have the clear buttons is what I'm using. The black buttons we'll need for another project today. And then you also need scissors and a hot glue gun and parent supervision when you're using that. Let's get started. All right, guys, so we're going to take our egg carton and our scissors, and we are just going to cut out one of the sections of the egg carton. So you can make multiple magnolias, but for this one, we're just going to show you how to do it using one portion of the egg carton. So what you're going to do is after you cut that out, next you're going to kind of level it off. You want a nice little, kind of like a cup. So just cut off the edges that are kind of bulky. And once you've done that, you're going to take your paintbrush and white paint and paint the inside of the egg carton. And then you can paint the outside as well, but you want to go ahead and paint really well on the inside with that white paint. And then we're going to set it aside in just a second, and we're going to let that dry. What I like to do is I also like to do like maybe 2 coats because the cardboard kind of absorbs some of that paint. So what I've done is I cover it once and then I let it dry, and then I'm going to paint it again. So this is a dry one. What you're going to do next is you're going to cut little slits to make the petals of the magnolia. I think I did about 2 or 3. So you're going to have, it might have actually been 4 petals for the magnolia. And then kind of spread those out a little bit. You don't want to break them, but you do want to pull those apart. And then we're going to use our safety hot glue gun. If you want to use parents' help with this, you can do that. And then we're going to take our clear white button. We're going to stick that right there in the middle. This is going to be the center of our magnolia. It looks just like this. And then after we've done that, we're going to take the other one. It may not be dry, but we're going to go ahead and cut it on those little petals again, just like we did the last one. And then we're going to set that one kind of on the bottom after we've frayed it out a little bit, got the petals to where they look nice. We're going to pull those out. And then we're going to kind of fit it where it needs to go. And then after we've kind of fit it where it needs to go, then we're going to take a little bit of hot glue, put that in the bottom, and then we're going to stick those together. I like to press the middle because it's already there, but this is what this will look like when you are done. For Arkansas, we're going to learn about the state bird. We also have a coloring sheet of the state bird in this online discussion, so check that out. Mockingbirds are extremely territorial. They've been known to swoop and dive at pretty much anything. The female also lays up to 27 eggs in a single season. Guys, I'm also so excited because tonight we have a retired Lieutenant Colonel, Doy Robbins, who served in the U.S. Air Force. And he's going to tell us all about what he did when he served. He's also going to tell us the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day and how to celebrate those.
Hello, my name is Doy Robbins. I'm a retired Lieutenant Colonel from the U.S. Air Force, where I served for 20 years as an Air Force pilot. I flew C-21s, which is a passenger carrying airplane. I flew C-141s, which you can see behind me right there, is a heavy transport airplane for cargo. And I also flew KC-10s, which is another heavy, large airplane for refueling other airplanes in flight. Like I said, I served for 20 years and retired now, and I work at the Columbus Air Force Base teaching new pilots as a simulator instructor. A lot of people have a misunderstanding about what Memorial Day is, and then later in the year we have Veterans Day. Well, Veterans Day is the time to honor people who have served and currently serving that you know, or just all veterans that serve in the military for their country. Memorial Day, on the other hand, is something different, and it's very special to people who serve because Memorial Day honors those who have died in service. It originally started in 1868 when the general of the Army of the Republic, right after the Civil War, 3 years after the Civil War, declared that there'd be a decoration day, a day of decorating the graves of the fallen Civil War soldiers that died in combat in the Civil War. Well, that became Memorial Day later, and it has moved on to not only be just a remembrance and honoring of those who died in combat, but also those who have died in the service of their country, regardless of peacetime or combat. And I have served in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, combat zone, and did that back in 2000. I've been there many times, over to Saudi Arabia and several places in the Middle East. However, I never had anybody in my units or anything die in combat. We just didn't have any combat losses, thank the Lord. However, in that same time that I've served, I've had 4 friends from college and also folks from my unit that died in airplane crashes in training. So when you think Memorial Day, you think the people who have died by giving their lives in the service of their country in wartime or peacetime. Because serving in the military is a 24/7 job, and a lot of people don't seem to understand the sacrifice that families go through and the individual service members by giving their time to serve. We just want to thank everyone when they do come up to us on Memorial Day or Veterans Day and tell us that they thank us for our service. But really, let's spend Memorial Day and just remember and honor those who have given their lives in service. And for Veterans Day, come back to that and thank those who are still serving or have served.
Doy, thank you for telling us the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I'd like to share with you something I learned while doing research for this trip meeting. Did you know that there is a tradition of placing coins on military tombstones? It's true. Leaving a penny at a grave means you simply have visited. Leaving a nickel indicates that you and the deceased trained at boot camp together. Leaving a dime means you served together in some capacity. And leaving a quarter at the grave, you're telling the family that you were with the soldier when they were killed. This information brought a new meaning to me as I visited some of the graves at the Natchez Trace. So here are the grave sites. Here's a little history about that and what was going on during that time. Unsure about who these people were. But just a little bit of information along the trail. And some people, I'm not sure what that is. They've left pennies and rocks on their gravesite. I may have to do a little bit of research to let you know what that's about, why there are rocks and pennies on these gravesites, because I'm not sure. They're unknown soldiers, Confederate soldiers. So, there's that. And once again, another educational moment brought to you by the National Park Service. If we go back to the front of this, there was a big, kind of like a statue at the front up here. It kind of gave us a little bit more information about this particular part of the Natchez Trace, and there are so many others. Memorial Day is more of a remembrance day than a day of celebration. So instead of saying Happy Memorial Day, as this is really a sad day, we want to make tributes, reminders, and do things to bring attention to soldiers that lost their lives and tell people how thankful we are to their families and to them. This year, not only have we gathered videos and thank yous for these families, but we also want to create a symbol to wear on our shirts to let others know that we are thankful. Our symbol we will be using is the red poppy. The red poppy is a symbol of both remembrance and hope for a peaceful future. Poppies are worn as a show of support for Armed Forces community, and the poppy is well known and well established symbol, one that carries a wealth of history and meaning for it. So what you're going to need are actually supplies we've already used. Go back to that egg carton. We're going to need red paint this time, those paint brushes, this hot glue gun. Make sure you have parents' help. We're going to use some black buttons this time, and you're also going to need some scissors. Let's get to work. So I've already gotten one of these poppies done, and it looks like this. So what I did is just take my egg carton, cut some little nice, really pretty petals for this flower, and then I hot glued a button. And mine's like a floral button with a little diamond on the inside, or a fake diamond. And this is going to be, once it dries, this is going to be my poppy. And then I'm just going to place a safety pin on it, and this is what I'm going to wear. So we're going to walk through doing that process, and then you can make your own poppies. I'm just going to cut out, I have a pretty big milk carton or egg carton. I'm just going to cut out a piece of it, and then I'm going to round out the edges. So I don't need all these little extra pieces. So I'm going to round those out like so. And we're going to do this similarly to the way we made our magnolia. We're going to cut out these little petals like this, kind of around. You can paint it first and then cut the petals. You can do it with only 3 petals. Just depends on how big your egg carton hole is. So now I'm just going to take my paint, my red paint, and I'm going to dab it around the external parts. You can color both sides, paint both sides if you like, but you just need it to dry. So just paint everything you need painted, like so. And then you can wait for it to dry, or you can go ahead and do this next. I go ahead and do it next so that everything has about the same amount of drying time. So I go ahead, with a parent's help, you want to get that black bead that you have, and you're going to put just a dab of hot glue in the middle. This is going to help you keep your bead in the center. Just hold that down for a couple seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to let that dry. And there is our Memorial Day pin. You're just going to add a safety pin to the back of it, and there you go. We hope you enjoyed tonight's troop meeting and learned a lot about our states and their symbols, and how you and your family can pay tribute to the men and women as well as the families that lost loved ones. We're going to close our meeting tonight with thank yous from our staff and a message of remembrance from a military family. We hope you have a thankful and grateful Memorial Day this year and take time to remember the sacrifice of so many Americans.
Thank you so much to all the men and women who sacrificed their lives for our freedom, and thank you for everyone who is out there fighting for our lives now. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for your bravery, your courage, and your service to our community and our country.
I just wanted to say thank you to those who had served and sacrificed their lives for our freedom and our country, and to those family members who have lost a loved one in service. This Memorial Day, we remember and we mourn those who sacrificed their lives.
Thank you to the men and women who have sacrificed everything to ensure our safety and our freedom. We also want to thank their families for sacrificing their precious time with their loved ones. We appreciate you and we thank you for all that you do.
Happy Memorial Day! We just want to say thank you to everyone who has served, and we're so blessed to have our freedoms because of you. We will never forget the men and women who never came home. We know this year and every year their families are missing them, and we can't even begin to imagine the sacrifice or the loss. We're forever grateful for these brave men and women this Memorial Day and always.
As a military family, we get used to the see you laters. We count down the days until the welcome homes, and we try to document every single moment in between here and there. Because to our service members, this is the only chance they get to be part of the milestones. We do our best to be supportive and stay positive as they leave and come back and leave and come back, knowing that they are sacrificing everything they possibly have to keep us safe here at home. But in May, we always get that slap of a reminder that it could be taken away at any moment. In May, we recognize those families that don't get the welcome homes.
Look. Go get him.
In May,
Look,
we take the opportunity to thank those that have lost their lives and the family members that they've left behind, serving our country and keeping us safe. For us, Memorial Day is about reminding us how lucky we are to say that every see you later has been followed by a welcome home.